I apologize for yesterday. I arrived uninvited.
No,
Oh,
I'm
you're fine.
grateful. Thanks to you, Mizuki has her voice back.
No, I didn't do anything.
You did enough. It's Monday, isn't it a school day?
Today's a holiday. I suppose there's never a day off for a detective. Oh, but you aren't a detective, right?
Kinda am.
Technically, yes. But I still deal with crime.
I see. Today is a holiday.
You forgot too, didn't you?
Iris.
I've put Iris through so much. I was 19 and single when she was born. People didn't take kindly to that. But Iris was such a fighter. She always protected me. I remember, one time at the nursery, some of the other mothers were talking about me. Iris ran up to them and said, "Don't talk about my mommy." I'm supposed to be the mother, but it's Iris who's always protecting me.
Well, your parents.
They died when I was 17.
Wow.
I was an orphan, and my relatives lived far away. They might have taken me in, but I was already in my second to last year of high school. It wasn't a good idea for me to move that late. So I decided to stay here, by myself.
And take care of Iris.
Yes, all alone. But Renju would help sometimes.
Hmm.
It was always just me and her. Vacations, barbecues, zoos, amusement parks. Just me and her. Oh, that reminds me. When Iris was 5, there was a children's theater show in Bloom Park. It was called Milky Moon. It was about girls as magical space rangers and such. She loved singing and dancing, even as a kid. Whenever she heard music, her body would start moving. It was a quirk of hers. And she did it at the show, too. Toward the end, when all the Milky Moon girls were dancing to the ending song, Iris climbed up onto the stage and danced with them. I tried to stop her, of course. I grabbed her arm and tried to get her to sit, but before I knew it, she was up there, dancing. And everyone was so excited. Even I was dancing by the end of it. When it was over, she had the biggest smile on her face. "Mama, you're a good dancer." That's the kind of girl she was. You asked me that yesterday.
No point in hiding it. I told her about Renju's disappearance.
Right from the hospital? I'm sorry. I have no idea. Whenever she sees someone playing music on the street, she'll run up and join them, right then and there. Music at the train station, the crosswalk beeping, even at convenience stores. When their little chime played, she would start dancing. It almost got her into trouble once. She was on the jungle gym and a truck drove by. It was playing loud music out the windows. She climbed up to the top and started dancing, but she lost her balance and fell. She fractured her leg pretty badly.
Ooh.
It was on a Sunday, and it was hard to find an open emergency care. I was carrying her on my back, running and running through town. I could still hear her crying. Will I still be able to dance, Mommy? Can I still dance?
Aww.
She cried and cried into my shoulder. It was the only time she ever cried so much. No, that's not true. There was one other time.
Oh. Probably when her dad died.
6 years ago. I was the victim of a shooting.
Right.
After the surgery, Iris came in running. And she was sobbing.
Mommy, don't die! Don't die! Please don't die, Mommy! Don't die!
I swore to myself then that I would protect her, no matter what. Iris is everything to me, more important than my own life.
Iris must really enjoy dancing.
Yeah.
Though her drawing skills could use some work.
Drawing skills?
Look at the drawing on the wall.
Oh my god. She probably made that when she was a tiny little girl.
I've been wondering about that picture.
Iris drew it when she was 12.
Right.
It's you on the left and Iris in the middle, correct?
Yes,
And who's on the right?
the man I was dating at the time. It was only for 3 months, but... I met him about 6 years ago. Have you been to the Kume Shrine?
6 years ago.
In the Minato district? I was praying there one day, and I heard a voice. Well, more like a groan. Behind the shrine, I saw a man sitting on the ground. He was bleeding badly from his stomach. I took out my phone to call an ambulance, but he grabbed my wrist, and he held me, and then... He kissed me. I was shocked, but... when I stared into his eyes... Then I heard footsteps, and then a bunch of men yelling. They were looking for him. When the voices and footsteps faded, he let me go. Don't call an ambulance, and don't call the cops. I knew he had to be a criminal, so I took him to an underground clinic I knew.
You took him to a mob doctor?
Renju's friend. I only met him once.
Of course.
Even though we had our first kiss seconds after meeting each other, it took a long time before I got to see him again. The first time we held hands was when we watched a horror movie together. The first time I took his arm was when we went to a haunted house in an amusement park. But I wasn't the one who grabbed him. A zombie jumped out and scared us, and he clung onto my arm. He had that cute side to him. And I was falling in love. Our second kiss was in the car. It's cliché, I know. But we drove around at night, looking at all the lights. We parked our car near a warehouse and kissed. I don't think we ever said I love you, but we both knew. We were getting closer and closer. I introduced him to Iris about a month after I first met him. Iris never had a father figure in her life before. She warmed up to him immediately and treated him like a real dad. From then on, it was always the three of us together. We would go to the beach, to the river, the zoo, the amusement park. Going to barbecues with another person was a new experience for me and Iris. Everything felt so fresh. Every day was so exciting. Oh, sorry. You asked about the picture. He wanted to make okonomiyaki one day. He was working with the hot plate. It was ridiculous. He was trying to flip one, and it flew up in the air and landed right on my head. Iris saw the whole thing and laughed and laughed. I hadn't seen her laugh like that in a long time. I was having so much fun that I put an okonomiyaki on their heads too. Plop, plop. I added the bonito flakes and mayo and sauce.
Ew.
At this point, there was no going back. Eggs flew, flour going everywhere. The room was not a pretty sight. After our battle, we laughed like crazy. We were rolling around on the floor. So Iris decided to draw it. It's nostalgic.
Cute.
But those days didn't last. 6 years ago, in November, a man with a gun broke into our house.
Yeah.
Fortunately, Iris wasn't
mob
home at the
boss.
time, but my boyfriend was. That's why the gunman came. He wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill him, and he would never stop. He pulled the trigger. I tried to protect him. The bullet hit me, but the police arrived. They were both arrested and incarcerated.
Why was he after your boyfriend?
Before he met me, he committed some terrible crime. I don't know the details, but it was awful. So he became a target for underworld criminals. I don't know exactly why, but I know that he betrayed them in some way.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
I had heard that that incident was a random break-in gone wrong.
Oh. That's not true. I lied about it at the time, because of Mizuki. Mizuki is Iris's friend. If she found out, Iris would find out too. I didn't want Iris to know
Know what?
that I was dating a criminal. He was her father figure. Iris looked up to him. If she found out about his past...
Date, we can't spend time reminiscing. We have to get moving.
Shut your mouth.
Yeah, let's go.
I like Hitomi. She's cool. She's very sweet.
I am so aggro right now.
Who says
Aggro.
that?
Yeah.
Why are you angry?
You backed out on your Shovel Forge promise.
I didn't make any promises.
You promised me a date, though.
I did go to your house.
2 minutes before midnight, and you didn't even take me anywhere.
Yeah, because we only had 2 minutes.
We could have gone somewhere. Iturup, Kunashir, Shikotan, Habomai?
Nah.
Absolutely not.
Then you should have come earlier.
Well,
I mean, you're right. I kinda saw your body with a bunch of stab wounds in it. Yeah.
Iris, promise you won't laugh, but I saw something at the cold storage warehouse last night.
What?
Your dead body. I told you not to laugh.
But, come on, Date. I'm alive. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Look, I can jump around. Woohoo!
Stop, I'm serious. In my dream, I saved you from being killed. And here you are. Which is why I was like that when I went to your house yesterday. Sorry, there's no point in telling you all this.
No, it's fine. Sorry for laughing. I just didn't know what was up with you.
Huh?
I believe you, Date. Maybe you were in a parallel world or something.
Another bizarre
I'm
explanation.
telling you. Mm.
I know you were mad about our date, but why was your phone off? I couldn't get a hold of you. Last night around 2 a.m., someone visited you. Who was it? And you left the house as well. Where did you go?
You really want to know?
Yes.
And you'd do anything for the answer.
Yes.
All right then, Shovel Forge.
No.
Then go on a date with me.
Again, no.
But you owe me for yesterday.
I told you I couldn't get a hold of you.
Objection. Even if you did get a hold of me, you didn't want to see me anyway, right? Until you
Irrelevant.
fulfill your promise, I won't tell you anything.
Where's Renju? She don't know.
What about him? A traffic accident? I'm worried.
Any idea where he could have gone?
I'm sorry, no.
Do you know So?
I've seen him on TV.
Ever met him?
No,
Not at all.
no, not at all. Off?
Yeah, from school.
Oh, yeah, it's a holiday. So I decided to come to Lemniscate. We're going to do a recording for a show soon. So, what are we doing?
What do you mean?
For our date, of course.
Oh my god. Don't go on a date or go on a date. I need to get information. So I guess.
Fine.
Hey, wait a minute.
Yay! So you'll play Shovel Forge with me?
I will not.
So we'll go on a date then.
Yes.
Deal. And you have to honor our agreement this time.
I can't believe it.
Oh, but we can't go right away. I have a recording coming up. I should be done by 3, though.
Tessa, we're starting soon.
Got it! So, Date, meet me back here at 3? If you ditch me, I will be beyond furious. Anyway, bye for now. Peace!
Ditch.
There is no point remaining here. Let's get moving.
You're so angry.
So Sajima is a key person of interest in this case. Earlier, the boss cited 3 points of suspicion against him, and I agree with her assessment. I checked the call logs of So's phones.
It's not pronounced Dante, it's pronounced Date.
Congressman Sajima has one phone under his name, and a burner phone rented under a fake name.
Did you find anything interesting?
Unfortunately, no.
Really?
But I do have something. I looked into So's secretary's phone. One call in particular stood out to me.
Huh?
It was 1 week ago. From Fuchu Prison. The caller identified themselves as inmate number 89.
Number 89?
Yes. This is most likely the same person who called HQ.
I know who killed Shogun Adami.
Okay. What's he in jail for?
Murder. He is serving a life sentence for multiple counts. He was imprisoned 6 years ago.
6 years ago?
Unknown.
Of course.
You would have to ask Mr. Sajima for that information.
Yes.
Number 89 said he knew who killed Shogo.
He did. But that may be a lie.
Does he have any connections to the Cyclops serial killings?
Unknown. In all honesty, I have no idea. From what I can determine, he is an assassin. He accepts jobs from the criminal underworld for substantial rewards. His code name is Falco.
Falco?
Correct. Unknown.
You don't know?
He is not registered in any databases.
Huh.
He could be a foreigner or recent immigrant, but it would be impossible to determine from where. However, I did not detect any accent in his speech. I believe we can conclude that he grew up in Japan.
Number 89.
Should we visit Fuchu Prison?
No, we don't have time.
Oh my god.
Call up boss.
You should.
Tell her to request that number 89 be brought to Abyss.
Roger.
I heard there was no body found at the cold storage warehouse. Isn't your investigation over? Number 89? Who is that?
An inmate at Fuchu prison. He used to go by Falco. He was an assassin.
Odd, finding such a person in Japan. What about him?
About a week ago, he called your secretary.
I don't know anything about that. He was probably calling for a pardon or some such nonsense. My secretary probably decided it wasn't worth my attention. If you need information, you can ask her. I can't help you. How many times do I have to tell you? I don't know that girl. I've never seen her before.
Date.
I knew he was lying. This proves it.
I am having difficulty determining his motive for lying. After all, Iris was not killed.
Maybe he's got a secret with her he doesn't want us knowing. What are you hiding so?
Why'd you call
You are
Shoko?
beginning to irritate me.
What did you want to talk to her about? What is the private matter you mentioned? What is your relationship with her?
I'll answer your questions when you present a warrant. I told you I will not answer that question.
And why not? We didn't find anything there. There's nothing to hide.
It appears that he will not respond.
Haven't you people got enough? I'm very busy, excuse me.
Yeah, you're so busy feeding your fish.
Actually, I do have one more thing to tell you. To be honest, Kaname Date, I don't like you.
Well, thanks.
I don't ever want to see you again. So I suggest that you don't show your face here anymore. It's what's best for both of us. Understand?
Is that a threat? Are you threatening me? So walked away sternly.
Who does this guy think he is?
Date, your blood pressure is skyrocketing.
I don't care.
Any higher could kill you.
Right, whatever. Full of shit.
Relax, Date. We still have much to do.
I know.
Monday. With Iba in my left eye socket, I walked into the cold storage warehouse. I could see my breath. I looked around, shivering. Nothing seemed changed from last night, though.
A switchboard. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. The crane on the ceiling. Nothing has changed. A forklift. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. You first arrived here yesterday at 9 p.m. At that time, lying on this workbench was...
Iris's dead body, covered with a white cloth.
But the second time...
The corpse was gone.
It was 11:25 p.m., but the body could not have simply vanished. Crime scene investigation was here before 11:25 p.m.
When did they arrive?
According to the report, 10:30 p.m., after we finished syncing with So.
It took them an hour and a half to get here?
Correct.
Why did it take them so long?
Dots.
The report does not specify.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps a result of outside influence.
Uh-huh.
Outside influence?
Corrupt. Is boss.
A forklift. It doesn't seem like it's in use. It was likely just left here. There are numerous cardboard boxes on the shelves. There is nothing abnormal about them.
Dang it.
Hi, I'm Jemimon.
Iba,
Jemimon.
the jokes, you've gotta stop.
There are only a few items on the shelf. It is likely that this warehouse isn't in regular use.
There's nothing in it. Overhead crane. Right? Ice cutting machine.
That machine is used to cut ice. Do they store ice here?
What do I do? Oops.
It's a wooden box. There is nothing inside.
Boob? No boob. The ties to the forest are in the ground are they're clearly frozen.
In any case, there is nothing of note about the bench. Examining it will not reveal any further information.
We searched the warehouse again, but we didn't find anything useful.
Nothing.
But finding nothing may, in fact, be something.
What do you mean?
I was just thinking out loud. Let's get going. Date, your temperature is dropping. At this rate,
what do
we
you
might
think?
find your body in here.
Ah! I meant to boop, but okay, me. Boob! I returned to Ibis HQ with Iba. I needed to talk to the boss. His As I entered the room, the boss smiled, like she was waiting
I took
for
care
me.
of what you asked for.
Number 89?
He's here, in the interrogation room.
I'm on it.
You'll go without me this time. I have some errands to run.
Yeah, sure you do.
One of the
Beach.
higher-ups needs me.
Yeah, so you can shoot somebody in the head and chop them up into tiny little pieces and put them in a vase.
I'll have Pewter go to the
You know,
interrogation with you.
Important things like that.
Understood.
What's up?
Let's get started.
Number
What's your name?
89.
Your real name.
I don't know, I forgot.
Forgot. Where are you from?
Djibouti.
Djibouti.
Northeast Africa, a small republic of roughly 900,000.
I don't take kindly to stupid lies.
Oh, dang, kinda. Why did you call Soshijima's security? Or secretary?
Oh, you know about that.
Yeah.
It's true. I called Sajima's secretary. I got him on the line and I told him something very important.
You spoke with him directly?
Yeah,
What'd you tell him?
I told him to call somebody.
Somebody.
Choco.
I can't tell you anymore.
Why, though? How many
I
people
don't
you
know.
killed?
It's not like I'm counting.
All right. Let's get back to the topic at hand. 2 days ago, you called our investigation office. You said you know who killed Shoko Nadami.
That's right.
Who?
Hey, don't be so hasty. We haven't agreed on a deal. You're gonna let me out of prison, right?
Yes, I promise.
You're lying. You don't want to release me. That's fine. I was expecting this anyway. I just wanted a good excuse to leave the prison.
What do you mean?
You really want to know?
Yeah.
Here's what I mean!
Ow. Ow! Ow! Oh.
You'll make a good hostage for me.
Oh.
Take me to the exit. Now.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, darn.
Are you kidding me?
Darn.
A criminal serving a life sentence just escaped from Metro Police. I ordered everyone to keep quiet about this, but it's only a matter of time before the press sniffs this out. We need to get number 89 back before then.
Probably went to Hitomi's.
Boss, it's my fault he got away. I'm sorry.
Don't waste time apologizing. Go
Well, then,
catch
why are
him.
you just gonna sit there?
I'm the one who has to go on an apology tour now. You really messed up this time.
Whatever. Where's my gun?
Number 89 still has it.
That's not my gun.
But don't worry. I have a spare. I'll give it to you later.
How did he get away?
He punched out an officer and stole his clothes. He put on the uniform and brought me with him at gunpoint. Well, he had the gun in his pocket, hiding it. No one on the floor even knew this was happening. He got on the elevator and made it to the ground floor. He even stole my security card.
Oh.
He said he'd kill me if I tried anything. I suppose the whole escape took him about 5 minutes. He must have planned this.
You're
Yeah.
rather calm about all this.
I'm coming down from being terrified for my life. I'm in a bit of a fugue state right now.
Fugue.
How would I know? After he got to the exit, he let me go. I didn't see where he went. I collapsed right there.
Collapsed? Okay.
Date, I know you are already aware of this, but there are security cameras all over this compound. I checked all of them. Number 89 fled in a car that was waiting for him.
So he had an accomplice.
Yes,
Did you see who was driving?
I did.
Who was it?
And told me.
You and I know him well.
Oh.
Renju?
It wasn't, he told me. I told Boss and Peter what Iva revealed to me.
Renju?
Why?
Oh.
Date, Moma is calling.
Moma?
Moma.
From the Kumakuras?
I'll connect him.
Hey, Date. I just got the word. Renju's been seen.
What? Where?
Hey, don't forget our deal.
Deal? What deal?
You forgot already? I'm talking about Tessa.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Of course he's got a gold tooth.
I'll be waiting. You know what to do.
What should we do?
We have no choice.
Well,
we have to
date.
take her.
To Moma?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my gosh!
Late. You're late.
I'm going home.
Never! Have you forgotten the
Never!
vows you exchanged?
Are you drunk?
Vows.
No, of course not.
You're drunk.
I kid. I'm kidding! I can't believe I'm gonna shovel forge with you. I'm getting excited!
I told you I wasn't gonna play Shovel
We
Forge.
are not shovel forging.
I was talking about the date, silly.
Ah,
Shovel Forge and a date are synonymous, apparently.
apparently.
So where are we going?
A gangster bar. To where the dragon is.
There's someone I'd like you to see, but be careful or you'll end up whacked.
Waxed? Like a wax museum?
Yes.
I love wax museums!
Exactly what I said.
They're so cool! All the people look so real.
Yup. I said waxed. I took Iris to the Kumakura.
Wow, this is so cool! Look at how real this one looks!
Oh, Tessa.
It talked! The wax man talked! It talked! The wax man! He speaks! Like a human!
Oh my god.
Iris, there's been a misunderstanding.
I told you this place was the office of the Kumakuras. A yakuza.
Date! You tricked me!
I never said we were going to a wax museum. That was
Oh,
on
but
you.
She just noticed that now.
Moma, I held up my end of the deal.
You sure did. You want to hear about Renju?
Mr. Okiura?
I do. Get a weird tick there, bro.
You said on the phone that you saw Renju.
Yeah, I had all my people looking for him.
So, tell me where he is.
I could.
What are you doing?
Hey, I held up my end. I brought Iris like you asked.
Date, come here.
Took me to the corner of the room.
Date, I don't quite know how to ask this, but... Can you ask Tessa if I can shake her hand, please?
Shake her hand? Oh my god.
That's it? Sure.
Moma and I broke out a huddle.
Iris, could you do me a favor?
A favor?
He wants to see your boobs.
Oh my god, Date!
Fuck, dude? I didn't say that!
Oh, sorry. What I meant was, he wants to shake your hand.
Oh, a handshake. Sure.
Date.
I would never show my boobs.
I would never show my boobs. Iris took Moma's hand gently and shook it.
Date, this is the happiest day of my life. It feels good to be the boss.
So how about it?
Alright, here it goes. Renju was seen in 2 places. First, Sunfish Pocket, the maid cafe. Second, Ikume Shrine.
Sunfish Pocket and Akume Shrine.
Got it, thanks.
No problem, bro. Really.
Bro. Where are your goons?
They're out. Looking for Renju. Besides, I can't have them here seeing me like this.
Good point.
Expensive looking
Why do
ring.
you care?
Can I have it?
Can I have it?
What?
What?
Can I have the ring?
Why would I give it to you?
Hey, can I have the ring?
Yeah.
Absolutely, of course you can. Here, take it.
Ah!
Wait, no.
Wait, no.
I can't give you this.
You're so cheap.
Come on, it's not like you're losing it.
It's exactly like I'm losing it.
Aww.
You guys are a good team. Like siblings.
Aiba. I'm sorry.
Sorry for bringing you here.
It's okay.
You don't have to be scared, Tessa. We're not thugs. We're just a gang.
Yeah, just a
That is
gang.
contradictory as meatless beef.
The old boss was really violent.
He would take a cheese grater to someone's leg if they looked at him funny.
But
Oof.
after I took over, we went crystal clean.
Sure you did.
Crystal.
Methamphetamines.
No, we don't do drugs. We don't deal with that stuff. We had to restructure the whole operation. Cut a lot of people off.
Cut?
Their throats.
Their throats.
No!
No!
Oh yeah, I haven't introduced this old man yet.
I'm 24.
Wow!
Moma is lying. He is at least 48.
I was gonna say, wow! No way in hell.
Sorry for not introducing myself. My name is Moma Kumakura. I work for a prestigious advertising agency.
Uh-huh.
You run the Kumakura gang, right? You're like a mob boss.
How did you know that?
Oh, you
Is he
literally just said
stupid?
that? Yes, he is.
MoMA may not look it, but he's a huge ASET fan.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm a huge fan.
Gambling.
Gambling.
Bet, debt, ASET!
Worries.
Forget, fret, ASET!
Now what does she say?
ASET, you bet!
Wow, my catchphrase! Thank you!
This is kind of embarrassing.
But sorry, Moma. I don't like gangsters.
Oh.
I don't like gangsters either. Gangsters are awful. All those nasty Yakuza guys should drop dead, am I right?
What happened to Mr. Okiura? I heard he escaped the hospital.
So did I. But I don't know anything more than that.
Please tell me?
Renju's escape from the hospital was strange. 3 things stuck out to me. I laid out the facts. Mizuki was lured to the place where Shoko's body was found by a message sent from Renju's phone. I found Iris's body in Okura's fishery cold storage warehouse. Earlier today, Renju fled with a prisoner, escaping a life sentence, an assassin named 89.
Hold up. What were you saying about Tessa's dead body?
Oh, well...
Date saw a parallel world with my dead body in it.
A parallel world?
Never heard of it?
Oh, yeah! Of course I have! Yeah, right! Parallel worlds and all that shit. Yeah!
I don't understand it, but I suppose he does.
No, he doesn't.
Good, because I don't feel like explaining it.
But why would Mr. Okura do that?
I don't know. He could be a hostage or an accomplice. Either way, I need to find him. Anyway, Moma, take care of Iris for me.
What?
What? Wait! You're leaving me here?
You'll be safe with him.
Are you serious? Look at his face! Not to mention he runs a crime syndicate. What if he sells me to the highest bidder?
Tessa, I would never do that! I told you, we're clean now. We all go home on time, we follow government regulations.
See ya.
Wait! What about Shovel Forge?
I told you I never promised to play with you.
But you promised me a date!
Date! Is this true? You son of a bitch!
You son of a bitch! Oh! Ah! I'm gonna ignore that.
Good idea.
Date, you're gonna look for Mr. Okura, right? Take me with you. If you do, I'll tell you about last night.
Yes.
Her late-night visitor.
Fine.
Yay!
It's a little girl.
Date, don't ignore me!
Ignore!
A clean gang.
Oh, that's just a toy.
Uh-huh.
Oh, just a toy.
Let's leave them alone for a while.
We have 2 places to check. Sunfish Pocket and Ikume Shrine.
I want to go to the warehouse, too. Where you found my dead body.
Something bothering you?
No, I'm just curious. Oh, and one more thing. Can we eat somewhere?
Food sounds good.
That sounds like, indigestion.
Oh, my chest hurts. Getting hard to breathe.
My God. Yeah. For some reason, the mayor's dreams were all about this chick. And for some reason, the Lemniscate dude took off with the prisoner guy. So yeah, we're in there. Where we gotta go? I forgot what we were doing. Log. It doesn't show me from last time. Okay. believe that Iris was alive because he saved her in Somnium. Aiba found his theory to be ridiculous and insisted on finding Shoko, Nadami's killer. To find more evidence, Date continued his investigation. Yeah, not that. But I forgot where I'm supposed to go. Okay. The shrine? Why would I don't know. I do say, who is this Yenri you're talking about? Oh, I guess I chose right.
You okay?
It's okay. I just, missed a step there.
You lie. You feel faint. Yes, I'm the penguin. What's up with her?
It's called Ikume Iribiko Isachi no Mikoto, or sometimes Ikume Tenno, or Ikume no Mikoto. There are legends about this place written in the old text. It's a shrine dedicated to the gods.
The gods, you say?
The old legend goes like this. One day, Ikume Iribiko sent one of his followers, Taji Momori, on an urgent quest to find a mysterious magical fruit.
Might be getting my gaming PC tonight. Oh, as the young kids would put it, that's quite pog.
A fruit called Tokijiku no Kaku.
It looks like a persimmon.
It's said that eating it will grant you immortality.
Wouldn't that be a peach? After
many hardships, Taji Momori was able to find the fruit.
Whatever do you mean? No.
But by the time he got back, Ikume Iribiko had died.
Oh.
Taji Momori mourned. He handed half of the fruit to the man's wife, and he left the other half on Ikume Iribiko's grave, then died on the spot.
Wow.
It is said that that fruit is still inside the shrine behind us.
Really? The fruit of immortality.
Yes.
I'd eat it. Well, panda. Immortality, huh?
Not interested?
I am.
No, not really.
Worthless.
I'd rather have normality than immortality.
Not me!
Mr. Okura isn't here.
If there's only half a fruit, I ain't sharing.
I mean, of course he isn't.
Oh.
It's not like we came here right away.
He's already taken off.
Too bad.
It looks like there are no further clues here. It appears we've wasted our time.
Of course.
It's nostalgic.
Oh my god, Des.
This place is a memorable one for me. 6 years ago, I used to come here with someone.
Someone?
I used to call him Uncle. He was a thoughtful, reliable man. I thought of him as a father. But one day, he just disappeared.
She's talking about...
Hitomi's lover.
Oh.
When you asked me why I became an idol, I wasn't being entirely truthful. I told you that it was because I wanted to become famous. But more specifically, it was for Uncle. I've been looking for him for 6 years. But I didn't find him anywhere. I didn't know where else to look. So instead of me finding him, I thought that he could find me instead.
You think if you became famous, he'd contact you?
Yeah.
So that is why she became an idol.
I mean, it's also been my dream since I was little. That's a part of it, too.
So why do you use the name Asa? Shouldn't you use your real name?
Oh no, I don't have to. He was the one who came up with the name Aset. He told me that if I ever became an idol, I should use that name.
Huh.
A flower over there.
Flower?
You can't see it from here, can you? I know it's there because I've been to this shrine before.
An iris. More specifically, a winter iris. This is the same flower that was on display at Iris's house.
Yeah. How did you know?
I can see it.
It's the same kind that's at my house. I told you about what it means, right?
Good news and hope.
Iris is also a part of the eye. And the Greek goddess of rainbows.
Great goddess of rainbows.
She delivered messages from the gods. That's why the flower means good news and hope.
I say.
Date, we have no time to waste. We should get moving.
I mean, I guess.
Got it.
The goddess of rainbows.
I saw it. I'm sure.
Now that we're here, you bet feel better.
Your corpse, Iris. Right here.
But I'm here now.
Yeah, that's why I know it's all a
Maybe I'm
simulation.
ghost.
No, you're in my head.
You don't look like a floating sheet. You have legs.
But maybe they're not legs.
In a
Maybe
simulation.
they're my boobs.
They're my boobs! I tried to picture Iris's breast swinging down like that. No! Date, you don't try and picture that! And then I decided not to. Good!
Didn't you say that you saved me in your dream?
God damn it!
What did you mean by that?
I told you that I'm with an organization called Abyss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you told me 2 days ago.
We find clues in the minds of suspects and witnesses. We enter what we call Somnium, a dream world projected by their subconscious. That's what the entire organization is about.
How do you even do that?
Magic!
We have a machine that we call the sync machine.
What is that?
Magic!
It's a sync machine.
That's not an explanation.
I
Tell
didn't
me
make
how
it.
it works.
Well, I can explain, but it will require a bit of background to understand.
Background?
Informaciones. We'll just do it while we stand in this freezer.
Nanotech? Yeah. Technology related to really small things. Like, really teeny tiny things. And when they make a machine, they're called nanomachines. I heard they use them a lot for medical and tech fields. Some of the cutting-edge nanomachines can even go inside your body and cure illnesses. They can even cure cancer. And they go beep, beep, beep. Well, I don't know if it was like beep, beep or rrr. But anyway, nanotechnology costs tons of money.
Yeah.
Only a few people can even afford it. My college professor said only the richest of the rich have nanotechnology. But he's pretty liberal, so...
Largely accurate. Nano is a prefix meaning 10 to the negative 9th power. A nanometer is therefore 0.0000000001 meters. The sync machine uses machines approximately 2.16 nanometers long. Viruses are on average 20 to 970 nanometers. So sync nanomachines are far smaller than that. This allows them to access neural circuitry. During a sync, the nanomachines are used to write in the syncer's data.
Science! Who wrote this? I don't know. I don't know. The killer's strange. Like, at first it seemed as if the dude from Lemniscate was the killer, and then for a brief moment you think that the kid, the one that follows her around all the time, I say kid, but he's like 27 or whatever, but the one that follows her around, you think he's the one that kills, he's the one who's the killer. And then at the end of the first part of the game, the freaking the boss was caught on video killing the mayor. So, but then now we're back here, and we did one of the syncs differently than we did the last time, and it completely changed the outcome. And this one's far more complicated than the first one was, and I think that was the point. My small brain.
I've
About
heard
the
of it.
BBB?
The blood-brain barrier, right? Inside the skull, there's an army of little teeny tiny soldiers that surround the brain.
No, big booty bitches.
They protect the brain from bad stuff in the blood, right?
No, you're wrong!
That's almost it, yeah.
The blood-brain barrier describes the architecture of the microvessels of the brain. It is a kind of shield that protects the brain. To get through, an object must be no larger than 0.4 nanometers. Objects too large to slip through the barrier cannot physically access the brain.
God damn it, Tess. Then we found out the real killer is the friends we met along the way. Oh, that's killer. Let's see, Wadget.
I guess not.
Guess not. There's one thing you don't know.
I know what it is.
Oh.
It's the core programming behind AI, right?
That's right. What's wrong?
What?
Are you a robot?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Take
To
off those
borrow Pewter's
headphones.
explanation. With
Do
the
it.
advent of the Wadjet system, we can extract the data of the human psyche. This data is sent to the brain, which achieves the sync.
Okay, you have the basics down. Let me explain how syncing works. Syncers like me equip the sync gear and use it to access the subject's brain. Inside the helmet are nanocables. And on the tip of each of these cables is a special nanomachine. But the machine can't reach the brain through blood alone. Do you know why?
The BBB soldiers say, "Go away," and push them back?
Well, yeah, kind of. But for the sync to work, we have to get the nanomachines into the brain itself. How do we do that?
Drill a hole in the skull?
Oh.
No.
In Shovel Forge, you can use a pickaxe and...
No, it has nothing to do with tools. We don't have to open a hole. Skulls already have holes in them. One of those holes is the optic canal, which is a nerve canal located behind the eyes.
Ears! Oh,
the nanocables of the sink gear go through your eyes, then go to the
my
back of your
eyes!
eye socket, then through the optic canal to the sea.
The sea?
The sea of brain cells, anyway.
That sounds kind
the
of
brain
romantic.
sea. How is
It's only
that
a chunk of protein.
romantic?
Once the nanocables arrive at their destination, they can begin the sync process. They slide into the brain like roots of a tree. And on the tip of each cable, the nanomachine sends and receives data. This is controlled by the Wadjet system. And that's how the sinker and the subject exchange information.
Exchange?
Think of it this way. The human brain has a max capacity of one psyche, one consciousness.
Multiple instances of consciousness inside one brain can cause a total collapse of higher brain functions.
You know how a car only has one steering wheel? If there were two, there would be accidents all over the place.
Well, don't some planes have 2 control sticks?
Okay, maybe it wasn't the best metaphor.
Yeah, but they
What
don't
I'm
use
trying
that
to say
one.
is that the human body can only hold one person.
Unless they have
If you try to have
for
2
some
people
reason.
inside one brain,
But it's a
it will
very
break.
big vehicle.
I
It's
see.
way different than a car.
Because of this, the sinker's data goes inside the subject's brain. And the only thing inside the subject's mind at the time of the sync are their memories. Like a house with no one inside. We sinkers break into the house, look for clues, and leave. All within 6 minutes.
There's a time limit?
Yes, or else the house will collapse on our heads.
The neural circuits would become too deeply entwined with one another. To put it simply, the sinker would be trapped inside the subject's
I don't know why
heads.
you're saying this. Because she can't hear you.
Thank you for explaining it. I don't completely understand how sync works,
Yeah, you're welcome.
but still.
Just don't tell anyone. This is extremely confidential.
Yeah, it's extremely
It's okay, I won't.
Super
Date,
secret.
Tell me this.
Hmm?
Who did you sync with yesterday?
Didn't I show you his picture?
Joe Mama.
Congressman So Sajima.
So that's why you know so much about him.
But you've never met him, right?
I haven't, I swear.
Weird.
Hey, Date. You saw my corpse here, right?
I
She's
did.
shivering because
Sure
we're
of it.
standing in a
And
freezer.
in SoStream, you saved me from getting killed.
Yeah,
And then somehow, I resurrected.
yeah.
Date, that means you're... Achoo!
Date, is the cold too much for Iris?
Yeah. I'm
That's not a
freezing
real
too.
space. That was achoo!
Iris, let's get out of here for now.
She didn't even
Roger
breathe
that.
in. She didn't even go or anything. It was just achoo! That was fake! It was fake!